The 70s gave us some of the most iconic tracks in music history, but not every track got the chance to shine. Some pushed boundaries too far and were pulled from shelves, airwaves, or even entire countries. Today, we're diving into 10 controversial 70s songs that were banned or blacklisted. Stick around. Some of these tracks caused a firestorm the moment they dropped. Number 10. Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen. Few songs in music history have stirred up as much chaos as this one. Released in 1977, right in the middle of Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee, God Save the Queen wasn't just a punk anthem, it was a full-blown cultural revolt. With sneering lyrics like "She ain't no human being" and "There is no future in England's dreaming," the track was seen as a direct assault on the monarchy. God save the Queen! She ain't no human being! The BBC banned it. Major retailers pulled it from shelves, and yet the single still rocketed up the UK charts, rumored to have hit number 1 before being quietly held at number 2 to avoid scandal. If you're into music that challenged the system and shook the nation to its core, throw this one back on your playlist. It's punk at its fiercest. Number 9. Frank Zappa, Bobby Brown Goes Down.
Hey there, people, I'm Bobby Brown. They say I'm the cute.
Frank Zappa was never one to play it safe, but this one might be his most outrageous track of all. Released in 1979, this satirical song took aim at American masculinity, fame, and sexual identity, all with a grin and a middle finger.
God, I am the American dream, with a spindle up my butt.
The lyrics were explicit, the themes taboo, and US radio wouldn't touch it. Unsurprisingly, it was banned coast to coast, with stations unwilling to risk airing it. Ironically, the song became a massive hit in Europe, especially in countries like Norway and Sweden, where it topped charts despite, or maybe because of, its lyrical shock value.
Oh God, I'm so fantastic. Thanks to Freddie.
If you're into bold satire with no filter, Bobby Brown is Zappa doing what he did best, saying what no one else dared to.
Bobby Brown, watch me now.
Number 8. Loretta Lynn, The Pill. Country music isn't usually where you'd expect to find a feminist anthem, but in 1975, Loretta Lynn changed that with The Pill. The song celebrated birth control as a form of female liberation, with Loretta boldly singing about taking charge of her body and her future. For conservative country radio, it was a step too far. Dozens of stations banned it outright, but the backlash didn't stop her. In fact, The Pill became one of her most talked about songs and helped spark conversations about women's rights across America. If you're into fearless storytelling with a twang, this track was way ahead of its time and still packs a punch. Number 7. Donna Summer, Love to Love You Baby. When Donna Summer breathed life into 17 minutes of sensual grooves, she didn't just break into disco, she shattered taboos. Released in 1975, the song was drenched in eroticism, with breathy vocals and a pulsing rhythm that left little to the imagination. Some radio stations refused to play it, and it was even banned in countries like Italy and the UK due to its overtly sexual content. But controversy only fueled its success. The song became a disco landmark, and Donna Summer cemented herself as the queen of disco. If you're into bold, unapologetic tracks that defined a genre and a moment, Love to Love You Baby still turns heads today. Number 6. Paul McCartney and Wings, Hi, Hi, Hi. When Paul McCartney shed his Beatles image and embraced a more rebellious vibe with Wings, this track took things up a notch, literally. Released in 1972, the song was a psychedelic rocker with suggestive lyrics and drug references that raised eyebrows fast. The BBC banned it almost immediately, citing its blatant sexual content and perceived promotion of getting high. but the band only added to its mystique. Fans loved the raw energy, and McCartney leaned into the controversy, proving he wasn't afraid to stir the pot. If you like your rock with a side of rebellion, Hi 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 is classic McCartney mischief at its finest. Quick break before we dive into the top 5. Music has a way of echoing through time. So which of these tracks do you think still resonates the loudest today? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. Now let's count down the final 5. Number 5, Alice Cooper, Dead Babies. Alice Cooper built a career out of shock rock, but this track took things to a whole new level. Released in 1971 on the Killer album, the song told a grim tale of child neglect, delivered with Cooper's signature blend of horror and glam theatrics.
Betty's mommy wasn't there.
It wasn't promoting violence, it was condemning it, but that nuance was lost on many. Critics were outraged, parents were horrified, and radio stations refused to touch it. Despite the backlash, or maybe because of it, the song became a cult favorite and helped solidify Alice Cooper's status as rock's ultimate provocateur. If you're into dark theatrical rock with a message beneath the madness, Dead Babies is a disturbing but powerful listen. Number 4, The Rolling Stones' Star Star. Leave it to the Rolling Stones to push boundaries with swagger and zero apologies. This 1973 track from the Goat's Head Soup album was drenched in raunchy lyrics, name drops, and not-so-subtle innuendo. Even the edited title couldn't hide what it was about. Radio stations banned it instantly, and even their own label cringed at releasing it. But controversy was nothing new for the Stones, and Star Star fit right in with their bad boy reputation. The track's raw, Chuck Berry-inspired riff made it irresistible, no matter what it was saying. If you like your rock wild, dirty, and completely unfiltered, this one pulls no punches. Number 3, The Kinks, Lola.
She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name and then
At first listen, Lola sounds like a catchy tune about a wild night out, but beneath the upbeat melody lies a story that made censors squirm. Released in 1970, the song tells the tale of a young man's encounter with a transgender woman in a London club. It was bold, playful, and surprisingly ahead of its time.
when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh, my Lola.
But radio stations didn't know what to do with it. Some banned it for the gender-bending storyline, others for the original line that referenced Coca-Cola, which the BBC flagged as commercial advertising. The band even had to re-record that line as Cherry Cola just to get airplay.
Champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola.
Still, Lola became a hit, pushing boundaries with charm, wit, and an unforgettable hook. Number 2, Bob Dylan, George Jackson.
Lord, Lord, they cut George Jackson down.
Released in 1971, this track was Bob Dylan at his most politically charged. The song was written in response to the killing of Black Panther member George Jackson in San Quentin prison.
Lord, Lord, they laid him in the ground.
With raw emotion and a blistering critique of the justice system, Dylan broke away from his folk rock neutrality and lit a fire under political discourse.
Prison guards, they watched him and they cursed him from above.
Many U.S. radio stations refused to play it. The lyrics, which referred to murder and injustice at the hands of the state, were seen as too radical, too inflammatory for public airwaves during a tense political climate.
Lord, Lord, they cut George Jackson down.
If you're into protest songs that don't pull punches, George Jackson is one of Dylan's most powerful and underappreciated works. Number 1, John Lennon, Working Class Hero.
As soon as you're born, they make you feel small.
After the Beatles broke up, John Lennon wasted no time dropping the peace and love persona and stepping into something raw, something real.
A working class hero is something to be.
Released in 1970, Working Class Hero was a slow-burning acoustic anthem that pulled no punches. Lennon's lyrics were a direct attack on class inequality, societal control, and the soul-crushing machinery of modern life. Lines like, "You're still fucking peasants as far as I can see," weren't just bold, they were explosive.
But you're still fucking peasants as far as I can see.
That one word got the song banned from radio, and both the UK and the US stations refused to play it, and some stores even hesitated to stock the album. But Lennon wasn't seeking approval. He was ringing the alarm.
Doped with religion and sex and TV.
If you're into stripped-down protest music that aims straight for the system's weak spots, Working Class Hero is Lennon at his most confrontational, and perhaps his most courageous. That wraps up our list of the most controversial banned songs of the 1970s. Tracks that stirred outrage, got silenced, but still made their mark. Also check our video about 10 controversial banned songs from the 1980s. You'll be shocked at what got pulled off the air. Hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Which 70s song do you think pushed it too far or didn't go far enough? Thanks for watching, and keep the volume loud.